So looking at the Haas Lathe CNC control, we see that it's really broken down into some sections. You have your overrides, which is spindle override, feed rate override. It'll also work to start and stop the spindle once the spindle's been started one time. So if you were to go into MDI, and so click MDI up here, and then once you have your upper left-hand corner of your screen highlighted, you hit M3 and then S500, and then enter, and then your spindle would start up. From that point on, you could hit stop, forward, reverse, would start it back up, stop it up again. So that works on your manual controls. And you have your axis buttons for jog. You can go back and forth, so left and right, in and out would be your X and Z. You also have the ability to do some tailstock stuff if you have tailstock, and you have your chip conveyor if you have chip conveyor. Up here you have all your F functions, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You also have the way that you'll set it up as far as your X diameter measure and your Z face measure. So just an overview of what's on the Haas control. We'll look into these things more specifically as we go. You have your display functions. One of the things that I'll say often is hit position twice. Position twice will illuminate your screen so that you can see where you are in position. Now over here with all of these functions, if you'll notice, every one of these is shaped like an arrow. So you have edit, and this has to do with all of your editing functions. Here's your memory. This has all the functions to do with actually running the part. MDI, this manual data input, it does some of your functions as far as forward turret, reverse turret, jogging the spindle, turning the coolant off and on. Hand jog, the speed that you're going to hand jog. Zero return, all axes, origin, single axis, or home G28. Home G28, unless you specify which axis, will take all axes home, so you want to make sure that you got clearance for that. And then also list programs. So you have your, you can select your programs. You can use your file format to help you figure out, do I want to take a program from memory, or from the USB, or from the hard drive. And then finally down here below into these sections you have alphanumeric. So you have all of your alphabet buttons, and then all of your numeric buttons here. So 0 through 9, cancel, and then enter or write. So that's just kind of a quick overview on what the control looks like. Now on our machines we have various years from really the cold start machines all the way to the newest next gens. So you'll see the control change slightly, but overall the control panel is going to do some, it's going to function pretty much the same. One of the things that you need to pay attention to is the white screen is what is highlighted and active. So if your screen's not white, you're probably not doing the things that you want to. So that's just a quick overview on what the control panel looks like and how it functions. Okay, so let's go out to one of our machines. So we've already done a little bit of work on the Haas CNC control, but what I'd like to do now is help you navigate through it just a little bit. And so one of the things that I've said before is that your active screen is always your white screen. So typically what you see here is that's white and highlighted. It is your active screen. So we are currently in memory mode. So we can run the program that we were trying to run. So we've already homed the machine out, it's ready to go. We can go ahead and hit cycle start from this point. Now if we want to be able to navigate the control well, and that is kind of our goal, is we want to be able to know what all of these things are doing. You have power up, you have emergency stop, you have the handle jog, which is moving the axes, you have your cycle start and your feed hold. So this is your power on, power off. If you have any kind of problem, emergency stop is your friend. When you're in a hand jog mode, then this wheel becomes active. This turns your, when you're in memory, this turns your program on. It activates your program. This stops the movement of the machine, not the spindle. Just the turret, just the Z axis or the X axis or both. These F functions are going to bring you to all kinds of different places. So if you want to create a program, so as soon as I hit F1, it brings me here. Now from there on, I will navigate down across by hitting the right arrow. Say I want to create a new program. I can hit enter from here, create a new program. I can duplicate a program, I can switch it to the right side or the left side. I can do a lot of different functions at this point. I can also, if I want to go back up, I go left arrow. I can select text, I can copy, paste, I can use a clipboard, just some of your standard Windows functions. So that's for F1. F2 is really going to happen when we're on the edit side of things, or really the file management side of things. Now, as far as X diameter measure, next tool, X and Z for axes, and Z phase measure, that'll happen when we start to look at what it takes to set up one of our tools. So here I have tailstock buttons. If I have a tailstock, this machine doesn't. It gives me the ability to move the tailstock in or out, turn chip conveyor off and on. These will control the movement of my axes if I'm in the appropriate mode. So if I'm in jog, I can use that to move back and forth with my axes. And my override has to do with feed rate, with spindle, and then forward, reverse, and then my rapid overrides. And so let's just say I wanted to go to MDI. I need to start my spindle up. I can go to MDI. My white screen is active. First thing I want to do is hit erase program. And that's a real scary button for a lot of people, but erase program isn't going to erase all the programs in your machine. It's simply going to erase what's on the screen. So at this point I can't hit forward spindle because I don't have the spindle command yet. So I type in M3, S500, and then enter or right, and then I hit cycle start. Now that'll start my spindle up. You can hear the spindle running. Now once the spindle's been started, I can hit stop, I can hit reverse, hit stop, forward. I can control my spindle at that RPM for now on. Now I can adjust it somewhat with my spindle overrides, but if I want to program a different spindle speed and I want to go to 900, I want to just type that in, delete out this part, or alter that part, and then go back and hit cycle start again. So now you can hear it spinning just a little bit faster. My spindle speed is 899, my commanded RPM is 900, so I know that's where I'm going. My spindle load, way down, no problem. I can either hit stop or I can hit reset, and both of those things will stop my spindle. So navigating through the control, those are some of the simple things that you'll need to know. The more information that you put in correctly, the more accurate information it's going to give you. So feed rate, chip load, things like that over on the mill, those things will be important to know. If you don't put in the right information when you're setting your tools, it's for here, you're going to get wrong information. So this is the place that we set our tools so that the machine knows where every tool is. Some buttons or some offsets need multiple button hits. So we go from work offset to tool offset. See again, what's white is active. Now this one's active, this one's active.